get brought to the new world. When the new world was always the old world. It's something brand new. Wild Wild West Part 2. I'm going far, like where the place are. Do, bitch, this ain't no war. Bitch, it's a Star Wars, that's on the beach like Jar Jar. Hop up on that kayak, we on our way to Fort Hammer. Pull up with that tomahawk, I'm tackling your ass. Flaming bows and arrows at the battle of a bass. Tell you right now that we happen to just crash. St. Clair go have to put more taxes on that ass, yeah. I want the magic stuff, that's the reason why they mad at us. Don't make me pull up at your motherfucker for the cause of massacre. Roll with a claim for the savages, but everything we do is justified. And that's the reason we don't give a fuck about a college or a damn alumni. Go to a village in Yahlahuè, Jimmy falling from the sky like really high. It was ill and need weapon for it was Chicago and they had to do or die. Then we had to go to Mississippi, tell the Chickasaw you gotta move aside. The Chief P.O. Ringo and Push McCall, how really was on cooler time. Like the Iroquois always be choosing sides, making everybody stand down. And that's the reason why none of us truly in control of our land now. We gon' pull up at the Silent Hill, turn everything making like Silent Hill. Then I'ma take me a grassy run to the big bottle for a fire drill. Really out there on the warpath, like I was hunting with shingles. You gon' have to take a long run and you ain't got nothing to bring us. Yeah, looking inside of your head, man, it's something that ain't there. Yeah, you must think that you clean the Moses or you think that you St. Clair. I'm going far, like where the place are. Do, bitch, this ain't no war. Bitch, it's a Star Wars, that's on the beach like Jar Jar. Hop up on that kayak, we on our way to Fort Hammer. Pull up with that tomahawk, I'm tackling your ass. Flaming bows and arrows at the battle of a bass. Tell you right now that we happen to just crash. St. Clair gon' have to put more taxes on that ass, yeah. And I deal with the stick, you can get killed in this bitch, this kind is for real. Yeah, good as a fish, I made him some deals with the French to pack me some steel. If you mingle a bit, I'm with the mingles, you bitch, we crashing the scene. In a single event, I made a single hit like Avril Lavigne. No one is taking our land and keep doing deals and treaties with middlemen. You are sipping your favorite cartoonist and sisters, now you just a simpleton. Maybe Mark, Luke, and John keep making movies, ain't none of them singleton. I'm just one of those boys in the hood that grew up and never became militant. Yeah, he's doing shit like it's Baghdad. Pull up at the fort, take a couple prisoners and put them in a trash bag. Doing nothing more than a sheep, better yet, nothing but a laugh back. With every hunter pull up, there's a bunch of long tails giving out cat naps. He about to go to sleep, I am as murderous as I am on the beat. This life I know is cheap, so I'm like TLC when I be on the creek. You know that Omaha don't give a fuck what you into, we know it's deep. This is my land, I never get served, so you can keep all of your notaries, fly bombs. I'm going far, like where the place are. Do, bitch, this ain't no war. Bitch, it's a Star Wars, that's on the beach like Jar Jar. Hop up on that kayak, we on our way to Fort Hammer. Pull up with that tomahawk, I'm tackling your ass. Flaming bows and arrows at the battle of a bass. Tell you right now that we happen to just crash. St. Clair gon' have to put more taxes on that ass, yeah.
Charlie. Everybody keep their hands to themselves. It's entertainment, creative movie. I've seen a lot of gangster movies. I've seen a lot of cowboy Indian movies. I've seen Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of movies. I've seen conspiracy movies and stuff like that. Guess what? Keep it Walt Disney. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep everything Walt Disney and make this money. You know what I'm saying? That's what America about. Let's keep everything Walt Disney and make this money. Why everybody else want to come here? Why everybody else want to live here? Let's keep it that way. Let's keep it that way. You know what I'm saying? The moment it leaves about money, everything falls down. Oh, falls down. Every time. It never fails. Every time something slide away. Well, I think this, I feel this. The money starts running away. Anytime somebody just tell the money, the shit, just I stay there or something like that. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that be running away is waterfalls. A lot of y'all like to chase waterfalls. Why do y'all chase waterfalls? Them ain't nothing but emotions, demons, children. A lot of y'all are children. So you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you just like to play with the kids. You are a kid. So a lot of times you just don't be knowing how to go about it in the devil's playground anyway and stuff like that. You go down a sliding board, you scrape your kneecap, you play on the monkey bars, you hit your head like Kanye West did on the stop sign. You know what I'm saying? You're on the swing set, you swing your life away or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? All kind of stuff. But if y'all get y'all life together, that's what this is about. You Yeah, and then y'all need a new age medicine man, because a new age medicine man is for people who going through current times. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you need things particular for your brain wave. You need things particular for your age range. You need things particular for your stank brain. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that people need particulars and stuff like, because can't nobody really tell you what's going on with you, yet everybody have similar experiences just playing out in their own singular way. So, you know, it's about having a communion based upon that tuxedo tabernacle, that we can have relations in the spiritual world that become relatable and sync when we play these things out through our actions in the physical world, which takes us into understanding what a cycle is and circling, and also attaching to the washing machine cycle. But you know, I don't really want to tie too much of that into this knowledge, due to the fact of a lot of people want to claim reincarnation may be pseudo, or a lot of atheists may consider they only live once, or however the case may be. So they're lost. I don't want to say they're lost, but I don't want to add too much of that, so that'd be a thought process into what I'm getting ready to get to, that kind of in the same realm and pocket of philosophy, but with a more realistic annotation to it. So me not adding in all the other jargon and, you know, the stuff that you have to filter through, that you have already thought in your own brain that you don't make sense to add it to your logical conversations anyway. You don't have to go through that in your mind to know what's very real. But now if I tie that back though, you'll be able to see, don't turn your back on certain things that you was looking at, but you may not have been looking at in a way that it makes sense, due to the fact of you wasn't going through a certain time of your life for it to match. It might not have been needed, and it might have been presented, but you was more in a disregarding space because it wasn't needed. And you know, a lot of times people are in that type of space, even when it comes into religion. You know what I'm saying? An individual will leave a religion because it didn't have some external representation, go through a few experiences, realize they need to build an internal representation, then go to a scripture that they was reading previously that didn't help them with the external, but now they can see things differently because it helps them more with the internal. And then they do a double back and be like, okay, well, maybe I do fuck with this, or but maybe I just need to go to another denomination, or maybe I do fuck with this, maybe I just want to. But you know, this is how people do double backs. And it's like that with relationships also. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, you know, an individual get tired of another individual, so your spirit be needing that space. But when y'all don't know how to calculate that before y'all jumped in a relationship and know that's what's going on, based off lack of comprehension, examples of others, elders, or culture, or whatever the case may be, right? The spirit to be tired of each other and then play that tit for tat game to extreme, to the point that it'll become a bridge burner scenario, too much animosity, elephant in the room, relationship can't come back. And then for the most part, you feel the purpose of having that space, because a lot of times you're going to miss that person anyway, due to the fact of once you go and search what you think you was finding better, you're going to realize the grass ain't greener on the other side. But it ain't really that, because you might even found someone who had more money than the previous person, if that's what your goal is. You're going to know that ain't the case. The case is the time and the familiarity and the comfortability that was built. Nothing beats that. You know, once you build a form of comfortability, it don't matter if you with Miss Duck, Miss Piggy Hut Buck, or if you with goddamn Yogi Bear, goddamn Sloggy Slim in a goddamn neck because he got arthritis in the left eardrum or something like that. However the case it may be. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's based off the ramifications of you have built comfort. Y'all shared enough space to develop a shared, or y'all got equal responsibility over an external frame and a connection that bends in as a feeling that y'all are externally play out as maybe things y'all got going on eventually play out as family, friend, associates, or co-worker gossip. But you know that these are the intricacies that be developed when you with an individual. And no matter the looks or whatever the case may be, this is how a lot of times a lot of y'all accept y'all family members. I said accept this, but I'm just joking. But like I said, a lot of times this is that energy that you built. And for the most part, that be what you be missing. And you could be if you a man, next top model, if you a female, highest blue white collar working individual with all the luxury or however the case may be, and this how you end up sliding to the bus driver, or this how the man end up sliding to the ratchet, or however the case may be, because it shows a sense of familiarity, of comfortability, where they have to uphold this mental and physical representation that Walt Disney have taught us, not being in a spiritual ship, but being in a relationship, that once we get that together and we get into a relationship on those bases, We want to make sure that look a certain way. So we're going through mental struggles within ourselves is to think we appear to be right with each other. And the moment the man get around a ratchet or a female get around a bus driver or the mailman, that it's a reminding of a previous relationship that may not even have anything to do with cheating or just dealing with a person because the stereotype of this person having a lesser job than the person that they with, or this person having more money than the person that this person with, or does she do much better things, whatever, on the other side. It's more predicated on, it's a sense of familiarity that you're trying to reach towards, and the familiarity is on a higher scale. The second layer and the third layer. The first layer of it is the physical reality, the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. You have built those natures and qualities, 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension, 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension with another individual. And if you don't build that with another individual, then for the most part, it's always going to be like a naked spot, or you're going to feel like a piece of yourself is gone to a certain degree, because it's kind of is. If y'all built a lot of things together and then y'all have to separate the suitcase once y'all get off that relationship, that's y'all going in different directions now. So y'all both got to jump ship. And then for the most part, these be those things we got to think about when we start to talk about how we're connecting, relatability, and stuff like that, what gets us into cycles. And once you understand what a cycle is, you'll know when you are experiencing a cycle with an individual. And that's why it's good to pick relationships based on spiritual ships, because you're going to be frustrated with anyone. So it's best to choose who you rather be frustrated with. So when y'all going through that cycle, y'all able to deal with that cycle a lot more sufficiently. And then she's dealing with more of a physical moon cycle due to the fact of having a period. And even if she missed her period, you know, the kind of energy she's going to be in if she's pregnant or however the case may be, based off getting, after she was ovulating, you know what I'm saying, and conceiving. But for the most part, all of these is a connection that y'all will be able to help each other with, and don't be lost if it's in the form of a relationship. So all of these is energies that, you know, I just wanted to build y'all mind in before we get into what I'm actually talking about as the Hae-Ha-Ho-Hu-Hee. You know what I'm saying? Which makes the 5-pointed being on the star. But these are ramifications of a makeup, and this makeup condense and become what you are right now based upon the spiritual root race that you are following, for lack of better terms, and things of that nature. And based upon continent and geographical location, that's going to be the formation of it. But for the most part, for you to have a head, arm, leg, right? And this is what you is, making snow angels in the sky, star, whatever. You ain't going to see that in the actual sky. Now, you're not going to see that in the actual sky. That's why sometimes they make a 7-point star. 7-point star just means you're a 5-pointed star and you got wings. You know what I'm saying? You're getting ready to, so they count it. You know what I'm saying? Head, 1, 2 arms, 3, 2 legs, 5, 2 wings, 7. You know what I'm saying? And you get to the 8-pointed being, you create a caricature outside of that, or whatever the case may be. So it could be, now this is an esoteric way to look at it. If you understand yourself, how the order is created, because you're part of God's children. Now, if you're not, these thing, you're just either doing it in a small ramification, you know what I'm saying? And based upon what organs, similar organs share group you with as far as spiritual root race, that's the one that you get into this washing machine cycle that I'm getting ready to explain, that anytime it's getting ready to get imploded on a holy scale, it takes the individuals to bring the new seed, the new thought, the new form, the new feeling, so it can start condensing as other spirits start to add on to it with their own subjective version once they see the way, or see the direction, or see the point, or see the spark, or see the start from God's children, the holy children, bringing that information down here for y'all so you can make a more sufficient new glorified body. Now, let's say if you're religious or you're a Christian, right? You heard that before, glorified body. But what else is you talking about? That's a body, right? So you have a new mind, and a mind condensed. If you, for lack of better knowledge, because you humans don't got this knowledge, the mind is condensing and become the fleshly fluids. Once you make the new glorified body, which is having a new mind, that becomes the new glorified body for you to sustain yourself within that temperature and that atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? So whatever thought is connected to atmosphere. So, whatever environment that you're creating based upon your nature, right? If it's more relatable and sync to something that's greater than you or not. You know what I'm saying? So that's another whole nother live stream, but it's just getting y'all in the aspect if you into a religion. Also, there may be a lot of terms that I use that you may be familiar with due to the fact of a lot of it got something to do with my culture anyway, but at the same time, I'm giving you the actual aspect of how to see these things, so it'll put you in a better perspective of how to see life, and then you don't start to react or respond off things that don't really mean anything. You know what I'm saying? So you can know what a cycle is, because everything plays out in a cycle. So, you're gonna have to raise your comprehension up a little bit too. So you can't be in a mind frame of I know there's a lot of even flat earth believers out there and stuff like that. You can't be in no dichotomy. You can't be in a, like, I'm getting ready to take y'all out of the third dimension, 1, 2, and third dimension, the physical. And we're going to get into the metaphysical. So you're going to have to see the essence of these things, where the essence of flatness come from and the essence of roundness come from. So you'll be able to see it from a holy, holy, holy perspective, what's larger on a percentage scale. What goes around comes around. And for things to be concluded and conceded within it, and then that's when things could be linear, because it's in something indirect that's non-linear. So it has a place where it can exist. So for the most part, that's when you get into formations and formalities, or the book of formation, or however the case may be, if you want to look at it from the Jewish perspective. But at the same time, it ain't really got nothing to do with any of these things. It just got something to do with understanding we're witnessing a process. And if you miss certain steps of the process, you may think the middle happened first, or you may think what happened last happened first, or what happens first happened last. And that's really, you just lost. You're lost in one of the process or the other due to the fact of a bias and what may have suited you more than the other, and what you have disregarded due to the fact of it not being in your favor. And I go for a mental concept all the way down to physical representations and all kind of things that y'all have to understand. But it's a cycle. You know what I'm saying? So this is where roundness come from, before you thinking earth is round. You know what I'm saying? And there's cycles for flatness and things of that nature. There's an energy of things needing to be leveled from the process I'm getting ready to get into, like birth, life, deterioration, and death. And then once it goes through the transformation, right, that's the 5 point, that's the stage of being reformatted. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, for something to be leveled, that mean it had to be manipulated. So that mean it is just an extension of something that's greater, or whatever the case. And what's greater in this aspect, just add a 0. We talk about percentage scale. You know what I'm saying? I know M equals square or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So things linear could only be within things that's non-linear. You know what I'm saying? Because where would be the end point of something non-linear, of something round? So if you know there's no end of a thought, there's no end of a direction that's larger on a percentage scale. So when you're having a thought, and when you're witnessing direction, whether mentally or physically, right, it's within the spectrum of roundness, or something that's non-linear. And when I say something, I don't want you to get lost into physicality, because y'all get lost in physicality, and then you'll be like, what's that something? You're witnessing a process, and after the process is done, your senses lie to you, and you would think the ending process was first. But the ending process is an accumulation. So you see how, like a snowball effect or a domino effect, right? Okay, look at the sky and the ground like that. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all will get confused and things of that nature. In all realms of reality, you know, things have to be added on for it to be heavy. So there's mass, velocity, volume. So energy has to be created for there to be more volume, more size, more mass. So there is no such thing as energy can't be created nor destroyed. So that's false for thermodynamics, unless you're talking about specific energy. And that energy had to come from something that's always being created. You see what I'm saying? Not and being expanded. Right? So when you look at that, when you understand a 5 point, birth, left, hey, birth. So let's start it. The esoteric halo that makes points or stops, right? Make 5 points or stops. Now, I don't want y'all to get lost in your mind as a stop either. These are things, when I say something, something comes from nothing. Not how y'all looking at nothing as no thing. Something that's one of a kind, for lack of better terms, I had to use something. But it's the thing, the observer, that creates the sums. You know what I'm saying? And you have to peel back the layers. If you have the ability to think, then you have to know you are the observer, and you are observing your thoughts, and your thoughts is conceived in your body, because I can't see your thoughts. So obviously, they're not separate. Your mind is attached to your body because your mind is constantly and rapidly condensing and becoming fleshly fluids. So a lot of times y'all get lost in certain processes. Like trees give off nitrogen or oxygen or whatever the case may be, and then you receive it through the oxygen or whatever, then you break it down as carbon, right? Okay, that process goes beyond that. When they used to say the spirit was the breath, for lack of better terms, they may have misunderstood someone practicing something and their best example was an external representation. This is where shamanism and animism come from. You know what I'm saying? So a person might have been explaining the breath, but the breath is just a less dense version of a heavier dense version, like your organs and your blood. So, you know, the spirit get carried through the lesser forms, the lighter forms, the holy ones, the spirit through the lighter forms. So it's less in weight, not heavy. That's why the light don't travel, because it's not that type of weight, or whatever the case may be. So to get to the spirit is getting through the lesser forms. And, you know, air may have just been the point to point to at that time. But if it's a form, then you could become one of these things, an air being. You know what I'm saying? An Atmos DAP. Or you become a Atmos DA. But at the same, but that's just a general term for a Atmos DA, Atmos DA, Atmos DA. Hold on. Omnisciate, Atmos DA. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be a council of being a Atmos DAP. You know what I'm saying? But it's really just Atmos DA. You know what I'm saying? So that's just helping you understand an air being. Like how y'all call a human, it'd be an Atmos DAP. But if you're a singular, you're Atmos DA. Don't put on the P at the end. That's generalizing. You see what I'm saying? So, and it would be a council of that, like the Holy Council, Omnisciate. So it'd be Omnisciate, Atmos DA. You know what I'm saying? So, when you start to get into that, you're starting to understand like it's a council. But the council is just each position, before y'all even understand the sun pocket is going in, each spirit, understand that come from an essence. So that it's already doing a certain pocket range or whatever the case may be. So when how things is playing out physically, even things that y'all can't weigh, like the wind and the sun and stuff like that, there's still an essence that spring that off in the first place. So when you think about the esoteric halo, right, this makes 5 points or a stop for y'all to think something is a cycle. Just like I told y'all before, emanating or left, up, and forward, just expansion. Right, down, and back, just implosion or condensing. So you emanate by forward, up, and left, for lack of better terms, but these are just different representations of expansion, right? So when you expand, the thing that you create as a spirit, you still the observer. So the things you create appear to have a start, but once you do that again, it pushes and it appears to go to the right. See what I'm saying? But you're really expanding and condensing. So you're getting ready to create a night. So the more you expand, the more it appears what you just created from the inside out. Expansion is a thought and feeling. The first atmosphere, your first body. So when you're making another one, it's like a picture move. Now the picture is a motion picture. Now the frequency is a vibration. Now you're creating energy. And that's how energy is created. And these are things that become a fleshly fluid. So as you do that, you're using left, it just appears. We have to make direction out of it. So once these things happen as a mechanism, you emanate, and this thing appear to be going to the right. You have a sense of direction, one or the other now. You can't have one without the other. It appear you're to the left, or it appear when you create, it's going to be on the left or the east compared to the transition of it going around north or in front, or left, up, front. So that's really, you see what I'm saying? But before I go to the west, right, to the west, from left to east, no, my bad, from the west, from left to right, then for the most part, that's just what you're leaving behind. Now it becomes what you're considering leaving behind. But you're making new things that condense for these new things to go in. That's the second coming. So you create a thought. Boom, you create another one. That first one is already there, so it kind of get out the way. So it appear to go to the right, but you're emanating more day. That's why day expands. Spring, summer, early morning, daytime, before we get into fall and winter. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, boom, when you emanate, then that next one goes, so that disappear by you being a spirit, being in your space. Because God's children, we got to teach y'all how to be. You know what I'm saying? So then for the most part, once you do that, now you got a collection, an accumulation. Before we get to the fall and winter, deterioration and ending stage, before we break it down, it's accumulation and it's slow down. So this is how we make organs, formate it, freeze it, because fall and winter time is a concept of how we actually condense and actually got the fleshly fluid. But we emanate it from its less as dense, the atmospherical and the water. Then we get the fleshly fluid. Emanation, water, fire, water, spring, summer, accumulation, condensing, fall, winter. You know what I'm saying? So we're actually seeing how we make our bodies as all species, just even looking at the seasons and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So as a spirit, emanate, as an individual spirit, which is a soul, you emanate. Your mind ain't the soul. Don't get lost in that. That's how y'all get lost in animalistic characters and stuff like that. You can't find yourself. You end up being somewhere and say you wasn't yourself. But for the most part, boom. Once that goes to the right, now here's the thing. When you keep doing that, that constantly accumulate, and that becomes a womb. The feminine, Cancer, from spring, the beginning, summer, Cancer, spring, Aries. Then boom, it's going into the seed. It's going into the womb, and now it's gaining accumulation and slowing down. So the deterioration process or the fall process or the pleasure process is what everybody yearn for. And things that you get to actually experience something slow down, experience life. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, here's the thing. Once you keep doing that, then for the most part, once that implode, now you're inside of your mind, right? So once you emanate, it appears that things is going from the left once you emanate, and then up, just it expanding, and then right, it reaching its deterioration point, and then you get ready to have to let it go, right? Mentally and physically, it reaches deterioration point. It's in this stage or whatever. So anytime there's an expiration date, anytime there's a starting point to something, there's an expiration date. And that goes mentally and physically, right? And you're just seeing them at different processes. So for the most part, when it comes into the esoteric halo, right, the start is spark, birth, growth. So spark would be hey, start, spark, growth, ha, that'd be growth, life, expansion. So you got start, spark, and birth. Then you have ha, growth, life, expansion. Then you got hope. That's deterioration, downgrade, implosion. And then you got hue. And that's the end. That's end, outdated, death. And then you got heat, transformation. So that's the 5-pointed star. That's the spirit transition we all follow in that species now before y'all become Atmos DAPs. And you become a 6-pointed being, then a 7-pointed being, and then you get to the formations of expansions and then understand life on that aspect. But you got hey, right? East, ha, north, ho, west, hue, southwest, he, south, right? So that's you got birth, life, deterioration, death, transformation. You know what I'm saying? So the spirit gets to transform out of what it created from the Hae-Ha-Ho-Hu, spring, summer, fall, winter, Yahweh, Wonkan Tonga, right? Now, and then the spirit gets to get out of that egg and get to do it again. Now, here's the process that you have to understand, and where a lot of spirits fail because they believe in the faulty reasoning of concepts of heaven and hell and what they think they're doing by serving the flesh or self-serving. So you miss the path of what you actually going. So you come in a lesser form, mentally and even physically. So it plays out as you need more assistance. And then, depending on what lineage you're a part of, may have created a lot of safe havens for you to consider you're doing the right thing, because that external makeup can fulfill whatever you lack internally. But it really is predicated on how much assistance you need. The more knowledge, the more, if we got books in today's time, in this century, books, external information, like the lack of ability to be able to understand things for yourself when it comes to comprehension, to the point that you can create a worldview, language, and start everything or whatever the case. When you fail to do that, then for the most part, you already a part of a spirit concept that you don't know no better. You're just coming after something, and you have to still decipher if you're doing it right or not. But look, peep game, right? So transformation, when you get into transformation after birth, life, deterioration, and then death, then you get into transformation. Because this is another thing that'll throw y'all off too. Let's say you get into a lot of esoteric stuff, and you start getting into like stuff like the I am soft or things of that nature. And no disrespect to those things or whatever the case may be, but these are gas pockets. It's no different than being alive. It's just over exaggeration about what you're doing alive. It has nothing to do with what you're actually doing anyway. So I don't want anybody to over exaggerate what you're actually doing. Okay. So for the most part, here's the thing. Transformation. The space is able to expand to create more thoughts and bodies, right? So look, you go through a birth, it just don't stop. You don't see things in this life has an existence and stop. So it's not like that for you either. You know what I'm saying? So this is where atheists fall short, because they say you only live once. Where do you see something only once? You see multiple trees. You see multiple people. So if a tree gonna grow again, a person gonna grow again. You're just like got a self way of looking at things, and you don't understand that your spirit is making the mind and the body, and the mind is growing like a tree because it's the seed, and your tree is the body. So even if you want to argue over religion and stuff like that, I give you a better way to look at the Garden of Eden and Adam and Eve, right? Your body is the tree. Eve is your emotion. Adam is your thought. So if you want to get scientific, since y'all atheists, I know a lot of people ain't atheists, but Adam is your logic left brain. Eve will be your right brain and your internal energy. The tree will be your body, and the fruit on the tree will be your organs. Now, you have a desire to please your body. That's what the snake represents. You know what I'm saying? So, what's going to be closer to your body? If the spirit makes a thought first, expand the masculine, Adam is first. If Adam has to condense with a collection of thoughts to become the emotion, then the emotion is second. But then at third is the collection of emotion that condense and become the fleshly fluid, then the body is third. So who's going to be closer to the body? The emotion. So the only thing between the thought and the body is the emotion. So the emotion is a little bit more connected to the body based upon the feminine nature, or whatever the case may be. So the emotion is going to listen to the desire, the snake, because the snake wants the fruit, something to please the organ, the flesh. So your emotions and things of that nature is going to, throw Adam away when you want to please your flesh, or whatever the case may be. But if you go ahead and let Adam be the man and to have the thought and control the emotion, the bitch, the Eve, the villain, then for the most part, your desire, the snake, won't be eating away all your fruit. AKA the fruit that you bear won't be negative and you won't have nothing and you got to take it from others. Then something's happened to you physically too. Your body start to eat itself from the inside out because you're practicing organ implosion or whatever the case. So you end up not even being physically in the space towards your excitements that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You can't be up to do it or whatever the case may be or whatever. So you need assistance in that area too. So if you're an atheist, that gives you a better concept of how to look at it from a spiritual lens without the religious aspect to it. Because the religious aspect to it may put you into a concept of you not caring about it unless it has something to do with your bias or what you're going through personally. And that's something that the religion lacks. Religion has a concept to try to put everybody in a group of people way of thinking, and that's where it fails a lot of times, where the first discrepancies always come from. You know what I'm saying? So people be having to pick who they think they is based upon some other group of people's mentality and how they look at people and stuff like that. And it set y'all selves up which y'all think is, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like, for an example, American dress code. I look at all y'all weird. You know what I'm saying? But it could be a certain group, especially people in tuxedos, and that group could look at another group like ghetto people or hood weird or whatever. But truly, how I'm dressing right now is truly with Europeans forefathers, with anybody who came over here would admire. You know what I'm saying? I'm before all y'all. All y'all dress code phony to me. All y'all new to me. You know what I'm saying? But look, check this out. Because y'all be having certain stereotypes, like you supposed to look like this if you in politics. Then you had this other stereotype. You supposed to look like this if you a YN. And you had this other stereotype. All y'all knew. You know what I'm saying? All y'all is some new thing, whatever like that. We was back in with everybody who was somebody, even colonists or something like that. We all admire what I got on, with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Or some blue coat. or some red coat. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. All these new taking over the Allegheny River and stuff like that, and still in the terms tuxedo and tabernacle and stuff like that over there in New York, and just made all that came after the fact. That came after. That's after the fact. All right, but look, check this out. So transformation, right? So when we talk about transformation, now birth, life, deterioration, death. Then you go through transformation stage. That's now based upon your life of expansion and contraction. That lets you know if your spirit expanded or if your spirit was at one size based upon the current mind and body that you made for it to be in. And if you wasn't creating new thoughts and feelings to expand it, right, then for the most part, you lack creating life. So this is how you end up being stuck in what you already did, a familiarity, and then having to learn how to create a vibe. Because you're creating your mind and your organ. And that's a spaceship when you create your mind to go with other spirits that's doing that in a similar way, but probably got a little bit more grace than you, so they're able to make an organ. So this is how you come back through parents and stuff like that. But your parents come back through children. We all do this. But for the most part, you have to understand this, because if y'all don't realize that y'all doing this now. You ain't got to die to do what I'm talking about. So you have to understand this don't stop. So you actually have control of creating dreams and controlling it and things of that nature. Not trying to run away from your thoughts and feelings, which condense and become dreams and your experiences. Y'all be running away from life, so you show God you don't want to live life. But y'all be trying to do everything in life, you know, for the flesh and all that stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? It get weird. So transformation. The space. Now, when you're going through a transformation, you can only go two routes: expand or implode. For everybody. And here's the thing, it's not like end all and be all. You expand, that's a form of heaven, the highest orgasm. Then you come back, got new knowledge for people. Your expanded space can come back through a similar mind and body, like the root race you was in, to give them more of what will become a mind and body, so they can start adding on with you, no matter how long it takes. You're always going to be able to be in a world where someone need assistance, and you're going to be the one who give assistance. That's why teaching and knowledge is the highest thing, because it goes beyond where we're utilizing it for monetization and stuff, right? So transformation, once you go through that death process, the space, your spirit, individual spirit, your soul is able to expand out of that previous mind and body. So your mind ain't stuck in a body and the atmosphere and getting burnt up and stuff like that, right? And your spirit think is real. You actually know what's going on every instant. This is what you need. Y'all got to get this in your mind. The space is able to expand, create more thoughts and bodies, aka life. Creating thoughts and feelings, create organs. That is life. There ain't no other life. This is what you're doing. You could be an atheist all you want. You could be reading old esoteric books all you want that just really helped some ruler back in the day. It don't help your spirit. I'm telling you that right now. And you will know what I know. And you won't be in your space saying it's a pseudo. This don't have nothing to do with, this don't got nothing to do with pseudo. You know what I'm saying? This got something to do with what you're doing in your everyday life. And you're in a washing machine cycle right now. And you might be in the same similar thought or whatever the case may be. And you know when you change that thought, it bend in and become different adrenalines and different motivations. And you know, sometimes you have negative ones and positive ones. And the negative ones drain you, so you feel spiritually smaller. And that feel is the thought you are inside of as a spirit. So your spirit actually be these things. It's just experiencing everything. You can only use the term experience from your spirit. Once you start using terms for what your spirit is experiencing, you're no longer talking about your spirit. You're talking about what you got trapped in and what you in, all the way to the mind where you got lost at and everything. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand that. That's why, even through the lack of better terms with English, you got to say my mind. Now your body form ain't saying my mind, because your body form is the brain processing it. Your mind ain't talking to itself. Your mind is the thing that's being observed and being used to condense and be your brain and be spoken out as an organ. So obviously it's your spirit, your individual soul. You know what I'm saying? Your individual space, which is your soul. So spirit and soul is the same thing. Y'all get lost into other people's thought forms and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that you're supposed to know these things for yourself. So once you experience these things for yourself, you know what it actually means. and you know where someone else may have a mistake at. You know what I'm saying? And you know where you may have had a mistake at or whatever. But you have to experience it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So when you're doing something, you know what I'm saying? You know, you my soul or my mind or whatever the case may be. You're separating something. You know what I'm saying? You're separating. So for the most part, and you know you got certain thought forms that's not helpful. My soul can't deal with those things. You know what I'm saying? That means your space, your spirit, your individual soul can't deal with these collection of thoughts and feelings. And think about when you're not in that space no more. The only difference is the thoughts and feelings. So as a spirit, you changed it. You know what I'm saying? You changed the thoughts and feelings and stuff like that. So as a spirit, you went into a different space, created a different spaceship, a solar system, a system for your soul to fly in, and you went into a different direction. No, regardless if you was in the same physical space or not. Is it blurry? Let me refresh this real quick. This is blurry for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is blurry for no reason. Unless they try to play with my, unless it's, oh yeah, it's probably some robots on my stuff. Like, please, if y'all, if some robots in here, try not to, well, I can't tell the robots not to, spam or whatever the case may be. But, you know, I had one of them channels, I got a channel that's shadow banned. So when you send one of them robots, when it's a robot start commenting and stuff like that, YouTube start freezing it and stuff like that. But what I don't really want to get into that, but I do want to kind of break this down though. What I don't understand about YouTube, because YouTube kind of like on a streak of losing money and watch hours and stuff like that. Like YouTube, what good is it doing that based off mind games that ain't got nothing to do with business, money, not even influencing that people started with, where the shadow banning and the robot stuff work negatively on people that whoever watches YouTube don't like, or I guess I don't know. But then you make it work positively for the people who pay for it, like Shields and stuff like that. Because it's just like YouTube, you're just giving away free money. Like these people got robots and they're paying for their views, and the larger 90% of the YouTube audience and content creators don't watch that stuff. So you're manipulating stuff for people to get paid, or you're allowing that to happen. And you're possibly going to lose money, YouTube, if you haven't already. That's why y'all got all these new updates and stuff. I'm just giving you some game. Like, kind of stop doing that. Even the playing field up a little bit again. So things can make sense again. When things stop making sense, it doesn't matter the optics or the narrative. No one cares anymore. It's almost like being in a situation without bribery. It's like you're doing something, like you work in construction, and they ain't paying y'all no more. You don't care to go up and work at construction anymore. So it's like that with watch hours and stuff like that. Don't discourage up and coming people and then have me, who made YouTube what it is, make it seem like people who just regular can't be successful on YouTube and they just have to do their own thing. Then y'all create all these weird streamers and stuff like that it doesn't make sense to normal people. So it is look like y'all in your own world, and y'all gotta pay yourselves, and y'all got to keep it going that way. Where if things was just genuine, it'd just be genuine, it'd just be regular. People money could stay in their pockets and make more money, not pay money to look like something and then gotta hope that worked to start receiving. Kind of like how they used to tell us, like when Jay-Z, all numbers, men lie, women lie, numbers dope. That's the day numbers started lying. They start, because they used to, before they put P. Diddy on like 6 remixes and stuff like that, they used to tell people somebody went gold. They ain't go gold yet. They probably sold like 200,000 or something like that. Then they just say this person went gold. We're trying to get them platinum. Then they had like 6P Diddy take that bad boy remixes and stuff like that. Then that got them to gold. You know what I'm saying? That would got them to gold. Then hopefully they got the budget for another album. But a lot of times it really be like that. It don't really be, you know what I'm saying? So the industry have got inflated. So that's how the industry got inflated. The music industry have reached it's mass inflation at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So YouTube getting ready to get inflated. If it keep being all about politics and shields, it's getting ready to be inflated. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't no point. It don't be nothing to watch up here. And then regular people who get up here, y'all got some weird thing going on, some weird hatred going on, where y'all motivate people to be upset, and then y'all act like y'all don't want people to talk about y'all. That don't make any sense. Just leave people alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's just for anybody out there that probably watching and seeing it being fuzzy and stuff like that, and numbers playing with, and you probably watching other people, and you have to stop watching them because all you hear them do is complain and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the reasons why I take breaks offline and stuff like that, because it's really sad. It's sad how everybody crashing out on, and this what they choose to represent themselves as, because online is a personal thing, it's a personal pages. So everybody that choose to show them their page the way it is sad. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. That's why I choose not to even talk about a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, even you got to really just look at it, like, what is these people doing? Even getting these people, the politics and stuff like that, like the Myron Gaines and the Candace Owens, the Pearly Gates, the Arab dude. Like, for example, they got a mayor in New York, an Arab mayor in New York. Dude only 32. Like, what do any of these people even do? Like, we at a time right now where the only excuse that you mean anything to be in any position is if you went to a college or the military. But that don't even mean anything. Like, no one is actually deserve to be in any of these positions. So that's why y'all only get stupid talk, like assassination talk, war talk, tariff talk, antagonizing talk, race bait talk. Like, none of these people know how to do anything. Like, there's like literally that. I'd rather for a construction worker to be in politics, not a politician to claim they was a construction worker or go find one now. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's just phony. But no one, you just got a bunch of people, it's just businesses. Like, it's phony. It's just phony. Like, I don't, like, what are these people's jobs? What is Jasmine Crockett's job? They're literally only paid to talk. None of these people did nothing in real life. So these would be the same people that want to question what it means to be a politician. Then they had questions, but in all actuality, none of, and the only people that can claim that definitely don't make no sense either. You went to college or you were in the military. But none of these is on the ground basis of any. Military is just colonization. That's nothing to be proud of. Don't nobody have to be colonized to be in no position like that. And then college just means you institutionalized. No, none of y'all did anything. Nick Fuentes, like, what did y'all did? You can't pick anything. Y'all got to make up something to be like, this what it means to be something, and you can discuss this and you can be in on. No, I can run a business better than anybody in existence. Like, literally, I don't be wanting to hear nothing from none of these people. Some of these people need to go somewhere and play golf or go sit down somewhere and play bingo and shit. You know what I'm saying? So when you start seeing this is just too much time with manipulating numbers and trying to make online like is this about this influence, y'all are lost as people. And none of y'all know how to do anything. None of y'all got no talent. None of y'all, all y'all just nobodies and stuff like this. So y'all just like regular old people that got involved in something that don't exist in this time. That none of that stuff exists in this time. It all is rhetoric. It's all rhetoric. None of it. No one is even in a position to even fight for things people making up. People fighting for. You know what I'm saying? You got to really sit down and think, like, did that really, you really getting up off your ass and go fight? You know what I'm saying? You really about to go in your car and waste gas and go protest? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, real shit. Like we really there. Like, we there right now. So I don't understand why y'all be so pressed off the flesh. Y'all be pressed off the flesh and do things that don't matter and just crash out. You know what I'm saying? Especially the race baiters online, man. Y'all crashing out. All the blurrying, man. All that blurrying, me. I had a sufficient live stream, but all the blurrying, like I don't like to work too hard. I just do it on Patreon and get y'all into the intricates and stuff like that for the Patreon stuff. I've been trying to do a lot of stuff. I'm doing a lot of things. I'm building cabins, finishing this album, teaching a school. I'm doing a whole lot of things and stuff like that. So like when I get online, and that's like secondary. But I'm fortunate. I'm clearing up a lot of stuff now, so I can be fluid online. You know what I'm saying? Be fluid online and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just the online game is different now. It's a different thing. You know what I'm saying? You got to be regular. Think about what people do. Do people do music? Do they act or whatever? Don't be connected with people based off lostness. And I've been trying to teach all that for the past 10 years. Look at me as an example. No matter how spiritual you is, you check everybody every step of the way. You let everybody know they lost every step of the way if they lost. If they ain't, it's cool. Y'all say you let them know every step of the way. You know what I'm saying? Don't let no mishaps. Use my page as an example. There ain't no mishap. I don't care how spiritual a person, ain't no delusion, nothing. This what real spirituality is. You know what I'm saying? Someone who ain't lost in figment tales and stuff like that. No. You know what's going on. You know what's very real. So your spirituality is real. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you're supposed to keep it or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, people check themselves. You have people walking on spiritual eggshells and physical eggshells. And not just physically. You know what I'm saying? The spirit world too. You show certain images in the spirit world and physical to the point that a spirit already know what lines. Oh yeah, he might know that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how you gotta come or whatever the case may be. Rest in peace, Neola. You know what I'm saying? Stuff. Legit. Like it's a lot of deep things going on that y'all gotta understand. This has a full cycle. But that's what makes a cycle. So it ain't even like things going around. You're really just seeing a cycle of expansion and condensing. You being within that as you experience the spring, summer, winter, fall. You having a birth, spark, life, growth, deterioration, you know what I'm saying, then death, and then transformation. But your spirit is here. And your spirit is either going to expand or it's going to condense. You know what I'm saying? And then for the most part, you're not doing anything else. So everybody need to know that. You're not doing anything else. So if you want to know, get close to God, you know what I'm saying? You want to be in a position where, like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all might have to change the way y'all look at that too, because it's different forms and they all work in a communion. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll be able to see the overall picture. You'll be able to see Yahlahuè. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to see the whole raw spectrum and know what grounds you walk on, which in manner too. So you know you a seed walking in a womb, just being on the land. That's what you was birthed out of and things of that nature, you know. But when it get into real scholarship, real knowledge, we all be able to have real science and real cures and real manuscripts of how to come together also. All of us, everybody. You know what I'm saying? We'll be able to do that. But at this point, it's still a lot of monetary gains that needs to be cleaned up. So a lot of individuals is going to be in that position at the moment, you know, suit in the flesh. But, you know, you will be able to do it again. I don't want people to think y'all ain't gonna do it again. Y'all don't just live once. You know what I'm saying? That's a form. You live multiple times. You be having once upon a time type of forms. This form may live once. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean the spirit don't create other forms. And if you know your mind condense and become your organs, you don't just be creating one kind of mind. One kind of mind states. You be creating many different mind states. What make you think many different mind states don't become many different organs? You just, when you get lost in your mind, you be making fake synthetic organs that ain't real. So you be experiencing being inside of your brain, being inside of the baby, never actually being the baby, never being the mind, being inside of the mind that can extend and become the body. You end up just being in the mind, making versions of, I wish I had I wish I could condense. I wish this could condense. So you just having images of a baby, and then you try to jump inside of it as a spirit. You just inside of it. You never a part of it. You know what I'm saying? You never could swim in it and stuff. You get lost in your mind. It's because you forgot the condensity energy. So when you're having thoughts and stuff like that, if they're only about a previous life that you was just in, and you didn't add no new vibrations, you're already on a train of thought and line of reasoning of not expanding as a spirit. So you're stuck in your only what you know. That's hell. You're stuck in only what you know, because life is all about new experiences and using previous experiences as shelter or mental havens and stuff like that to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you can have some type of, so your spirit creates that as an ability. So when you expand and leave the previous physical body and mental form, your spirit was already that previous size. So you know how to make previous mentalities that's similar, that's going to be added on to your expanded spirit, added on to them new thoughts. So you're going to have a sense of what's going on. You may not have a specific, the devil in the detail, but your comprehension and your wisdom is going to go beyond your intelligence. And then based upon the wisdom, that's going to attach experience. And that wise experience, you're still able to derive intelligence in that new mind and body that you are experiencing based upon the reincarnation washing machine cycle. You know what I'm saying? So this is basically what I'm giving y'all, what I know I'm doing, so I'm able to teach. You see what I'm saying? And I know I did. So I could say I lived more than once, and then you'll be around somebody that be like, that don't make sense. Don't let nobody tell you they know everything because they at the wrong starting point. Or don't let nobody tell you they died and came back because they at the wrong starting point. But you really got to think, y'all just larger on a percentage scale of saying something because it's cliche or something that you learned and you ain't use your mind muscle. You got a fat spirit, so you too lazy to think. So you heard that and you just start to go through the mind jogging at someone else's starting point that gave you the idea in the first place. But you was gonna come to those ideas, just might not have been that language, might not have been that mind frame, but same or similar experience. But due to the fact of that experience being filtered through a mind frame and a language, the starting point of the experience you're not able to have for yourself. So you're only able to see it from a distance, spiritually and physically, only able to have an opinion based upon a bias. So you have a bias about a bias, or you're going to develop an opinion about an opinion that became a substantiated fact due to lack of better terms, it being called a fact. So it might have been an artifact, something written 2,000 years ago. So if you don't want to sound stupid within an argument, you're not going to say that thing that's actually in history didn't exist, but based upon your starting point, you're not going to know how to argue how it doesn't matter for the argument, because what's ever happening now always been happening. If someone could fucking have a child 2,000 years ago, they can fucking have a child now. I didn't need to read a book about what happened 2,000 years ago to know it happened now. That goes for planting seeds. That goes for ways of thinking. Even when people ain't here no more, but they had ways of thinking, and you could pick up that vibration, put that into action, and see that you didn't previously have that thought. Then when you start to use it, whether the outcome was negative or positive, you can start to go down that mind jogging of, okay, this was a pre-existing thought based upon someone having similar abilities that I'm able to have right now, just as well as they probably was able to plant a seed and plant a tree too. You know what I'm saying? Just like I could do right now. And fuck the shit out some ass right now too. You know what I'm saying? Have a child. You know what I'm saying? With all this energy, that's what y'all gotta understand. That's what y'all gotta understand. You know what I'm saying? Learn stuff yourself before you get into something that you're gonna need a time machine that don't exist to go back 2,000 years ago and have homeboy tell you he was retarded, or homegirl tell you she is retarded. You're gonna go back like, yeah, this person 2,000 years ago, they know something I don't know. They don't know nothing about YouTube. They don't know nothing. You know a whole lot. They don't know and shit like that. But you want to know something that retarded. You just want to wear like open-toed John Cleta sandal slippers on again. That's all you want to do. I said that's all you want. That's all you want to do. You don't want to do nothing else. You know what I'm saying? You want to make a cardboard box and let that be your little TV screen and stuff like that. Just say little rocks here, I'll say little dust pockets here and stuff like that. That's what you want to do. You don't want to do nothing else. You just lazy. You lazy. You don't want to use your mind for nothing. That's what that means. That's what that means. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to use your mind for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. Especially y'all goddamn flunked out dudes and y'all females in today's time that just all over the place. Y'all be all over the place. Especially y'all people that be a part of allegiances. Man, y'all be all over the place, man. I don't know what y'all be know if y'all coming or going. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just be like, man, as long as I'm getting paid. Ain't nothing wrong with getting paid either. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with getting money or whatever. You have to know your intent. Your intent is what matters. It's your intent. A lot of y'all got messed up intent. You know what I'm saying? Y'all intent be all over the place. And then it don't feel good. Like your spirit don't create a bunch of thoughts and feelings that feel good after you do what you do. You be questioning like, what I do it for? Did I really do this? Why did it mean anything? You know what I'm saying? Did it mean anything? You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. But yeah, I'm an esoteric vampire killer. You know what I'm saying? Vampire slayer. You know what I'm saying? I'll just give y'all a few gifts online. I'll get back to work or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff, you know, but my nights is my mornings, and my mornings is my nights, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? A lot of work done, a lot of going out. You know what I'm saying? Out and about. You know what I'm saying? The warriors paths and stuff all times of the night, or whatever the case may be. Y'all be having good old regular lives where y'all lives depend on nothingness. Y'all say y'all lives just depend on what y'all want to get accepted about and validation about. No, you got to go outside and do stuff. You got to go outside and interact with people. You got to go outside. Y'all just got to go outside no matter the time of the day and the night. You know what I'm saying? Or the day, or however the case may be. It's just a lot of things y'all got to do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't built your own life up to develop no creativity from it. So it don't matter what you do, you ain't got nothing to talk about. No matter what you in, business, entertainment, education, religion, or politics. You ain't done nothing to talk about nothing. You ain't interact with no people to talk about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Your music. You know what I'm saying? None of that. You know a whole bunch of what you got in your cup. You know what I'm saying? A whole thing about what you got in your goddamn rims. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing wrong with those things either and stuff like that. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? The game I give help everybody out. You want to be a better podcaster. I might not even do specifically what you do. Nobody in this world, business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, everybody can take what I'm saying though and apply it to their stuff. Everybody, all ethnicities and business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you play out real teaching qualities. That's how you know God's children. That God's children teach us how to teach like that. So we don't have to be involved. We don't have to get offended. Or we don't have to antagonize, yet I'm here with y'all. So it's an expression that you can use as a fruit, you know what I'm saying, to make yourself better. I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that character. I don't need that fruit. I don't need that offensive. I don't need that antagonization. I don't need that internal validation. I don't need that ego. I don't need none of it. I can show you how to make yours better, though. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make yours better or whatever the case may be. That's what this channel is about. This channel is the spiritual ascension, comedian slash music slash entertainment slash politics slash spiritual politics. I'm the galactic police for the great spirit. So anytime y'all doing something weird in the spirit world, I come down here and chastise y'all. Y'all wouldn't even see me. I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm saying, so y'all do something, I just come chastise. There's a lot of things So I have to choose not to speak though, because you know I'm monetized stuff. So I don't want to speak on a lot of things though. I heard what Oprah said though. I heard what Oprah said. You know what I'm saying? See, when I say stuff though, whole things just end. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? That's why I can't even speak. You know what I'm saying? I might just come out with a series. I think I'm gonna come out with a series. Who paid you to say that? I think that's a new series. That might make it more relatable, more you know what I'm saying? More pleasing to the ears or something like that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Who paid you to say that? You know what I'm saying? I met that guy. Maybe I'll do a part 1 tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? The part 2. You know what I'm saying? Part 3. Who paid you to say that? That might got to be the new series. Because there's a lot of people. See, but I can't just come out talking how I gotta be careful with my titles. I gotta be, you know what I'm saying? Real thing is like, these people be going extreme online. All I gotta do is mention something that I don't even go deep in. Act like I don't care, laugh about it, joke or whatever the case may be. Oh, the world ended. 3,000 psyops got to be made off of it. All the shields got to copy off of it and stuff like. All the news networking's got the plane delays now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got time for all that. You know what I'm saying? Let me have time for all that, man. Let me have time for all that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to know everything, man. Sometimes I just be wondering, like, man, why people don't know how to keep stuff to themselves, man? Like, because I'm too intelligent. Like, I was here too long, man. Y'all just kept me saying certain stuff, man. Can't say certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? You just can't say certain things. Man, they be having y'all think they talking about countries. They be having y'all think they talking about countries and problems with other people and for the Lord Jesus Christ. So it's like, Lord, I see that ain't for y'all. That's just for my people. Just like the elders teach me. You know what I'm saying? I give some of y'all foreigners a hint. Some of y'all know China wasn't called China. Wait, I don't want to use China. Say Africa. Some more Britain got control of it. Africa, Afghanistan, Iraq. You know, a lot of these wasn't named that. Literally still ain't. They might just be named that from your news channel in America. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Now, I can give y'all a little game how I used to run trial, or whatever the case may be, right? How I used to do things, right? Let's say I got a Planet-Con, right? And I call it Kachahina Katana, right? Kachahana Katana. Now here, boom. Now, here's the thing. Before it's an area though, it's a mind state. What's that? Now let's say I got a covenant chain. Well, I said I got like 3-7 bands of other people that I come connect with, right? And you know what I'm saying? Now y'all in today's time, I'm telling y'all how I did things back then, and I say, yeah, we might need to attack. We need to attack Katana. Like, we ain't talk about no land. We talking about anybody who thinks a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about that. I don't know y'all from the bottom of our flight bus that you know the show. Hell, to the bottom of the Terry Smooth. A Royal Archangel Uriel. I'm here to hear our God duty, some motherfucking responsibility. I don't know about that. I love everybody. Shout out to Trump. Rector Swap, Haël'Ho, Yahlahuè, Massasoit, Mama Natoy. You don't know about that. Bill Clinton was the best president we had since then. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see no more fruity pictures. I don't want to see no more fruity pictures. I don't see no more fruity. Oh, I say, oh,